Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Sprizzi. I'm the programming director for the Mammoth Film Festival, and I'm so glad to be here with our filmmakers. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Let's say hi to hello, Alexia. Hello from Paris.
Yeah, hi guys. How are you?
We have Kyrineos here from Greece.
Hello, Kyrineos and Maria, our scenographer.
Maria. Oh, beautiful.
We missed you all these days and we say to come a couple, and we also allowed us, we have Karen Solomon, our producer, in another window.
Oh, amazing.
But we will be silent. We won't talk a lot.
Thank you for joining us. And we have Andrea Rosen. Hello. She's here in LA with me, and David Payne from you're in the Czech Republic.
Yes, I'm in Prague. Hello, everyone.
And Zhenya Kazankina from you're in Russia.
Hi.
Yes. Oh, this is really exciting. So let's get started. Let's talk a little bit about Take It and Leave It. Kyrineos, tell us. So this was based on a short story or a novel?
Yes, it was based in a novel of a well-known writer in Greece. His name is George Skabardounis. I read it almost by accident. I had read a lot of books from him, but not this book that it was so old that didn't exist. But from good luck for me, it happens to read it. And from the moment I read it, I said, I felt like I had to do that movie, and I really tried to find the solutions with the financial possibilities we had to manage the way to make the movie finally, and it happened. And Paul, you are the first festival. You was the first phone I ever received, the first festival that ever select the movie, and from then it goes on in this coronavirus area times we experience together.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it's such a beautiful film. So happy to have it at the festival. Can you tell us a little bit about? I guess first of all, your cast is incredible. Tell us about casting the film.
I do the casting as I almost do everything else. And now after the years, and I have the luck I have direct 6 movies, short movies, and I have a little circle of people I love. And in all the levels, and the technical, and the crew, and the cast, and every time I make a movie, there is already some people that exist, and they are there, and I find the new people. I search to find the new people. That's what happened now. They are friends, they are collaborators, they are, we worked together some years, and Vasilis Bisbik is the leader, he's also well known in Greece. He was a new friend I made. But Maria, the scenographer, we have made together 3 films, at least. We know each other for more than 20 years, and she's a magician. And when she's always with me, we can make some magic.
Yeah, you definitely made some magic there. Tell us a little bit. What was it like to shoot in a slaughterhouse?
Oh, if Maria tells her experience about that, no. Yes, please.
First time I was there, it was amazing. We couldn't really know how to shoot the film in this situation. We worked very hard in papers and do everything by very well done schedule to be able to do the shootings in live action in this place. And it was a very amazing experience for me and for all the crew and Kyrineos and the actors. And we were very in good collaboration, everybody. That's the way we do that.
Let me complete something here. The first day we visit the Slattery house, and we visited exactly the day because they have a specific day they do the slaughter. And we went inside the place that they kill the animals. We all felt sick. We said how we will stand that, because you smell the blood. You see it, it comes inside your body. But then we watch the faces of the people who work there for years, and we understand that everything is a habit. You know, you need some time to get used. And finally, that's what happened with us. After 1-2 days in the slaughterhouse, we felt like we could be there with no problem in our senses and to do our job. The last day of the shooting, where we had the hard scenes, the assistant of the director of photography had a little crisis of panic, and she left out crying. But she considered, she put herself together again, and she came in, and we continue. But at the end, talking with the actors and all the people there, it was, you know, it's this opposite. It's hard from the one side, but from the other side, you feel like the news experience gives you some new power. You feel like what you consider as something hard and cruel can also at the same time become something everyday and normal if you come close to it. Sorry, excuse my English are not so good to explain exactly.
Oh, great.
In my mind.
Perfectly, yeah, yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the song that they sing in the slaughterhouse? With the percussion and.
Yes, I don't know. I never have in my mind to use music in my movies at the beginning, but in that movie it just came out. I wanted to make a movie that was going back to the roots of cinema, like not considered with me, but like Brother Taviani, let's say, or this kind of cinema. And I felt like that theme, that place, that movie was giving me the chance to try something like that. So I made an anaphora. I wanted to make a mention to that cinema of the old days, of the 80s and 90s, the cinema I love. So I imagine to use that music like something that happens in the head of the leader, of Marcos, as he goes out, because actually it's not a reality. It's a situation he creates with his mind. So I allowed myself to create music, this old music with you know, the drums and the not really modern music. Tribal, yes. And I want to give the feeling, to make the mention to things I had in my mind that will work like that.
Yeah, well, fantastic, fantastic work. Thank you so much for chatting with us about it.
We all thank you. You have made us happy. We are with you. Sorry, all these days we couldn't be more with you, but we are now. And yes, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Good luck to everything.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all, guys.
Thank you.
Bye,
yes.
Karen. Bye.
Yes. So let's talk to Alexia, who's joining us from Paris. Tell us a little bit about how these two incredibly charming girls. How did you find them?
So for Shaya, the oldest one, I was in touch with her mother on Facebook. And the thing is that I was supposed to shoot with another girl, a Romanian girl from Romania, Gypsy, but her mom got sick and it was the first day of the filming and we were already ready to shoot. But I was lucky enough to have among a few kid extras, the niece of my DP. She's very shy. So it was a bet to give her the lead role as Luan, but she's just amazing, and so that's how I found the two actresses.
That's incredible. She's so great in the film. Can you tell us what were the challenges of shooting out on the streets of the city?
The challenges, there were many challenges because it was a very improvised, do-it-yourself movie. I was shooting with a friend of mine friends of mine who are DPs for doc, but they were working on their free time, and there were 4 DPs in total. I would say, yeah, I don't know, in the street, you have a lot of noise, and the nightmare was a sound recording. So we did post-synchro to get a decent movie, because yeah, there were some noise like cars and stuff like this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about the reality of these children? Like, I guess the homeless children, immigrant.
Yeah, totally. So last year in Paris, there were more and more migrants living in the Parisian streets, but like basically like homeless people living in tents. And it was a weird situation where newspapers were talking about them, but mostly as official numbers, like migrants are more and more numerous in Paris. You would say that? Yeah, there are more and more. But it was as if they were invisible, like 2 cities with no connection. And yes, they are not only young men, but also women, children, toddlers. And so your question was about the real situation. So the real situation, it's not very happy now, because so there were really huge camps in Paris and just at the border of Paris. And the police removed the camp, but they are still there, just in more hidden places now. So yeah, that's really sad. And I think it's like situations that happen in so many countries nowadays. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for sharing the film with us. Beautiful work, and for hanging out with us all week.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that it's really a pleasure to meet you all tonight, and I'm really impressed by the programmation. I had the chance to binge watch a lot of short movies, so congrats for your movies, guys. And congrats to the Mammoth Lake team. It's a real honor to be here tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I realized I did the order wrong in this block. I think Andrea's film that definitely needs to be after Rio, so I'm going to switch that up. So let's let's talk to Andrea. So tell us a little bit about how you came up with the idea for this film.
Well, this film is very much based on like my life and what was happening at that exact moment. And so I was like writing these things down. I do stand up also, and I was writing these moments down, but they weren't feeling like stand up material to me. And I just thought it would be better for some reason to like film it, and to film me saying it, and then to sort of like film, parts of the story. And I think it works better that way. And it was, I guess, like, at the time, my husband was out of town for 4 months, and I was just alone with my kids, and I was like not handling it very well. And so I made a film about that chunk of time, basically, and how I wasn't handling it very well.
Yeah. So, because I wonder about, like the character in the film is so funny and charming and kind of extreme in her own ways. Do you think of it as like a separate character, or is that just, if I hang out with Andrea, is that what I'm going to get?
That's sort of me. I mean, and I mean, that's me in my mind also. I mean, half the time I'm like very boring, but in my mind, all of that stuff is kind of going on. And I guess the feeling of being like a fish out of water at all times is what I wanted to express, because I don't know, like, I just feel like maybe everybody feels like this. I don't know. But like where I live in Los Angeles, everyone really seems like they have it figured out, and like they're all, like they always look good and seem good, and they just seem great. And I'm always like, kind of not feeling that way sometimes, and especially because my husband was out of town for so long and it was just me with 2 little kids, and which obviously a lot of people experience. I mean, I was raised by a single mother, and she had a hard time. I mean, it's just hard. So I guess I forgot your question. Oh, is it me? Yeah, it's me. It's me.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, cool. And so are any of these episodes from like the oversharing and the couples therapy? Are they taken from real life? Or you don't have to tell me, but I'm just curious.
I mean, I have been in situations where I've overshared and have been met with people who look horrified, and I'm always surprised because like I always expect the other people to be like, oh my God, me too, or whatever. And instead they're like buttoned up and like horrified. And I just usually have my foot in my mouth. So that's an experience that I have had. I have it more in Los Angeles than I used to live in New York City. And I really didn't have it very much in New York City. Like you can share in New York City and people are into it. And here where I live, like when I share like that, people are not as receptive. It's a different crew.
Definitely.
And I've been here in Los Angeles for about 8 years, and I still am like, yikes, where are my people? Whereas when I go back to New York, I'm like, oh, here they are.
Right. Well, I'd love to hang out with you sometime. I'd love to hear oversharing.
Okay.
Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, so nice to hear your the backstory, and you have another film in the festival too, The Rain Poncho, which is also, I guess, maybe a little more fictional. And,
yes, that's totally
so
fictional.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's go to Zhenya Kazankina. It's so nice to meet you. We were so excited to meet each other in person, and it didn't happen. So this is the closest we're going to get. But tell us a little bit about how did you come up with the idea for Rio?
Rio is my graduation film, which I made as my diploma in my film school. And I was like a little bit stressed because our mentors in film school taught us that that is your last film with which you will have the financial aid from your film school. So that's like your last chance. You should make it as great as you could. And I was a little bit depressed about it, and I was like, oh my God, what should I make? And then I just stopped, gave myself a moment for relaxing, and then I understood, okay, now I'm thinking as a student, and what it would be like if I would think as an artist, what topics are interesting for me, and what movie can I make without any mentors from my film school, my classmates, viewers, or somebody else? What can I myself, what is interesting for me myself? And then I just started collecting moments from life these were interesting for me, and I had the like collage from moments, and then I felt I don't know how to tell, the vibe, the flow of the film, and these characters, these girls, that hotel, and everything just you need. And so
Okay, yeah, it really came together. Congratulations. Can you tell us a little bit about your 2 lead actresses? I mean, are they old friends because they feel so connected, and they really capture, I think, that kind of sense of intimacy when you're young.
Thank you. No, they're not friends in real life. They're like well-known Russian theater actresses, and I watched them in theater, but in different theaters. And then we just had a lot of rehearsals. I love rehearsing, and during these rehearsals, they became friends, and they just were chatting with each other, like playing games, dancing, and all that. So the rehearsals was the process of making them friends, making them together. So they're just so free in shot.
Yeah, yeah. And so was the made up language, is that something that they had to come up with themselves, or did you script it, or how did that work?
No, this scene in the script was like that, very short. And then I gave them this electrical vocabulary. I don't know how to name that, like, you know. And then they were just then they read this scene in the script and just started rehearsing, starting doing something, and they were just shifting languages in that vocabulary. And one moment, one of the girls just started to talk with made-up language without any I don't know, without the vocabulary at all, just with her own language. And another girl started to answer her. So this scene was like I just told them that okay, so we will do it like that. And it's like rehearsals, or it's only from actors, from their characters.
That's so cool. It just came to life on, in front of you. So also I wanted to ask you about did you choreograph the dance sequence?
Yes, we that was the first point in our rehearsals. When we met, everybody was like very cold, like, oh, what should we do? And then I decided that dancing is the process when everybody is in, and it would be much easier to touch each other, to start to collaborate with each other when you just have the music and dance. And so that was the helpful point in our rehearsals, just to dance. So yes, we choreographed it.
Great. Well, great chatting with you about it. Good to meet you finally.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So
thank you so much for invitation and for this possibility to meet you and to talk with you. I love that. Yes, really, because it's like virtual reality.
I know, totally. Yeah, so let's go to David Payne, who is and you are fully Czech. Like, David Payne is not a English name.
Yeah, I'm fully Czech. Well, my grandfather was born in Baltimore, so I got to keep the name. But I've never even been to the States, so yeah, no real connection there anymore.
Yeah. So again, just a beautiful film. And oh my God, your lead actor was actually, all your actors were fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the casting and working with your actors.
Well, I was actually really lucky because all of those actors, by the way, can you hear me properly? I'm not sure if this is functional. Anyway, yeah, I was really lucky because everyone, each one of the actors was essentially my first choice. So yeah, basically I called a couple Czech actors whom I admired, and they were kind of intrigued by the script, and they all said yes. So that was a really smooth process, and nothing like that has ever happened to me, nor will ever happen again, I think.
Yeah. Actually, can I ask you to can you pull your microphone a little further away from your mouth, because you're a little
okay, sure.
That's better. So I guess tell us about writing this script. It was I watched it again, and I was like I kind of I mean, the sort of moment where you hear the gunshot. The first time I watched it, I was like, it's like, wait, what happened? What happened? And then like watching it again, I was like, oh, this completely makes sense, because she sort of becomes one of the hunters herself. But it's a little not super obvious to grasp. So what was it like writing it, and what kind of feedback did you get to the script?
Oh, well, I'll get to that scene later. Well, the story is or the script was based on a short story written by my uncle, which itself was an adaptation of the last chapter of Odyssey, actually, where Odysseus is coming home to his wife after 10 years, and he's expected to be dead at this point, but he comes back and takes back his home, which doesn't happen in my version. It's the wife who has to take care of herself, because Odysseus is kind of a wimp. He doesn't even show up. So that was so that's the basis of the story. And to get to your point, well, we actually there's actually an extended version of that scene. We actually filmed what happens after the gunshot, but it felt kind of underwhelming to say everything out loud, because it's even though it's not obvious, you can deduce it from what's going on. And it just made for a more intriguing story, I think, to leave that uncertain.
Yeah. So I guess what was the actual shooting like? You're out. Looks like you're out in the middle of the country. Was it a challenge to shoot in that location?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question?
Oh. What were the actual challenges of shooting in that location? You seemed like you're in a very remote area.
Oh yeah, it was the area of Krkonoše, or giant mountains, literally, which is around 150 kilometers away from Prague. So that was really quite challenging. We were staying at a different cabin just across the valley, and this one was only there as our location, but it didn't even have access to water, and there was electricity, but it's a real 19th century cabin. Yeah, no sets, no set decorations really there. It was all there, all real.
Yeah, it's an adorable place. I'd love to go there myself. Yeah, but anyway, beautiful film. I guess we have a couple. We've gone kind of long, but let's take a couple questions from the audience. We have a comment for Take It and Leave It. One of the audience members, Juliana, says, "You work like Clint Eastwood. He uses the same people on his films." And she asks, "What is the background of the lead actor?"
That's a very interesting question. I felt like I had something common with Vasilis. It's a person that I knew him. Vasilis Bisbikis, the lead actor, he used to be a very well-known actor in TV, as exactly as we understand what means that. He made a career there. And then the last years, it's like he's changed totally his approaching with his art, and he made an underground theater outside almost of Athens, which nobody will bet on it. And he put some shows on, and he really became the #1 theater. He took all the audience from the very rich areas of Athens, and brought them to his theater. And that was very unique because he did it with the unique of his work. And he did some extreme shows and hard realistic theatrical shows. So I saw him in the theater, and then I saw him in 2 short movies, and I adored him. It's something like, if you ask me 5 years ago, would you ever have an actor like Vasilis in your movie? I say, never. But then I said, I feel, because I did something like it in my life in another stage, and I had a turn, I felt very interesting with that. And I wanted to approach him. So I just called him once. I visited his theater after one show. We had some wines, and we said, let's go, let's do it. And that's how it started. I didn't know Vasilis. Then I met him during the rehearsals and the film. And he goes on now with all the things he continues to do. And the movie goes on with him. And that's a little the background, what I can tell about Vasilis as I know it and understand it, is that kind of a background I can give an idea. But right now he's maybe in the first number of actors in the reality of Greece. He's a very well-known actor right now.
Great, great. Okay, so we have a few other comments. Kudos to Andrea for a counterintuitive assessment of New York versus LA culture. That's Walter Bauer. He's one of our screenwriters. And he also said, oh, he asked Zhenya, why no subtitles during the cat fight?
Because the girls are speaking in the made-up language, so there is no translation.
Yes. Okay, one more question. David, how close to the short story is the film? Loved the leaving it to the imagination, made it very suspenseful. This is from David. Oh no, this is for David, actually.
Well, not much actually. Like the original short story takes place in Romania, and actually most of it takes place in Greece at the Greek market, and that the story that I'm telling in my film, that's all told in retrospect as a you know, one of the characters reminiscing towards the past. So yeah, basically I took the story, threw away the first 3 quarters, and the final act of the short story is the film, and I really changed it up. You know, the hunters are, I think, a lot more grotesque and a bit more comedic than they were in the story. So and also there was a subplot of the main character actually having an extramarital affair, which I also threw away. So yeah, I'm not even sure if it's an adaptation, but it was my uncle, so he let me do it.
Nice. Cool. Well, we've already gotten kind of long, but I'd love to just, if you could just very quickly tell us, each tell us what projects you're working on going forward. Do you want to start, Kyrineos?
Very fast, yes. I don't know. I will tell you very fast. If that situation with this coronavirus and this digital new reality goes on, and let's say it will continue for the next years, even if I make a movie, I won't send it around the world. I'm not really interested to continue communicate like a virtual person in a virtual reality. I stand this now because I consider it like a phase we have to go on and find our lives and ourselves back together, or else to continue to pretend the creator of cinema in a world that doesn't really exist, and I cannot feel it with my senses. I'm not interested to pretend I'm a director or an artist. So I cannot stop making movies. I have one short movie very cheap that I will make for sure. I have one future movie, very cheap for future movie, but very expensive for my pocket, that if take it and end it helps me to find a producer, I will do it. So yes, I have some plans, but I want also to plan and help the world with my behavior to find back the reality.
Great, great, great. Oh, by the way, we haven't heard from Kate. I wanted to just quickly ask you what your experience was on the film, and if you want to tell us what you're up to with future projects.
Well, I helped produce this film because I completely believe in the work of Cutie Nails. And I think, as we all feel right now, that artists have a responsibility to be the most authentic and compassionate we can be right now with all the projects that we do. I'm a musician and a singer. I have a couple of things working, but right now I'm trying to find peace and quiet in the bayous of Louisiana.
Nice, very nice. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, yeah. Alexia, what are you up to next?
So I'm working on a short movie, really different. It's a midnight category short, very bloody, and I should film it in the Bay Area next year, but I don't know when, but yeah, obviously 2021.
Great, great. Andrea, what are you up to?
I'm shooting a short in 2 weeks, and it takes place during this pandemic, but it's not about the pandemic. So actors will be wearing masks, and you know, I just have to shoot it like that. So I sort of made it part of the story in a way, even though it's not a comment on the pandemic. It's about a woman who spontaneously grows a second nose, a little one, like right here. So she can sometimes hide it with her mask, depending on what she's up to. And, you know, she like has a love interest. They go on a picnic date. It's 6 feet apart. They're on separate blankets, you know, so I don't know. We'll see.
Cool. That sounds awesome. Zhenya, what do you have coming up?
Sorry about the dog barking. I made a short film this summer. It's like very, very small, 10 minutes observation film about mythological heroes in Moscow Park. We're like watching people in the park, but then when we watch them more in details, you know, we understand the connection between these like usual people and ancient Greek mythological heroes. Like it's it sounds surreal, and that is like that. But I'm now working in post-production of that film, and I'm writing the script for my next short.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. We got a lot of ancient Greek mythology in the house tonight. Cool. And what about David? What are you up to next?
Wild Game was my second year film at my at FAMU, my film school, and since then I actually finished 2 short films just now. They're being screened actually this Tuesday for the first time at my school. So yeah, the one of them is it's kind of a creepy comedy about a middle-aged guy watching ASMR videos of a certain teenage girl who he happens to meet just by pure chance. And we go from there. I'm not going to spoil it for you. And the other one is kind of a kids movie, a 5-minute short about a girl rising up against her art teacher at elementary school. So yeah, and I'm not sure what's going to happen next. Just like I'm trying to be open to new ideas.
Awesome. Well, we have one more comment from the audience. Kudos to all, as one of our audience members says. And yeah, it was so great to watch your films, and for you, I'm so glad you all showed up. Super exciting to hang out with you a little bit. that's our Q&A. If you can, please join us for the award ceremony. It's going to be very early in the morning for most of you. It's at 8:30 tonight, and we'll dance afterwards. We had a lot of fun dancing last night. So again, thanks for joining us, and that's our Q&A.